Okay, well before we start, what I should say is I'm not a presenter, so I'll do this the best way that I can. So what we've got here is 500 grams, oh by the way I wear gloves when I'm cooking, 500 grams of diced beef, 1 chopped onion, I think there's a couple of chopped carrots there, obviously it depends on how much you want to use, and some diced swede. Now for the actual gravy, I used Bisto, which obviously you can use whatever, mixed herbs. The salt and pepper I wait and see and season afterwards because there's quite a bit of salt in the gravy granules, although that is reduced salt. Normally a couple of teaspoons of whole grain mustard and the good old OXO cubes. Now I've chopped all this up first, obviously to save time. Also here I've already got the OXO cubes ground up ready to go in. So right, we'll move on to the next stage. Okay, so now we've got the wok heated up with about 2 tablespoons of oil. So we're going to brown off the beef. As it sticks to the wok. I know, not the most exciting thing to watch, but you asked for it, so I'm doing it. And the reason you should always do this with the meat before you make a stew or anything really is to actually sear the meat to keep the flavour in. I know back in the day people just used to put the meat in the liquid and stew it, and you ended up with this lovely, delightful, grey, tasteless, coloured meat basically. Just to put a bit of colour on it, just to take that pinkness out. And that's pretty much there. The reason I wear gloves when I do this kind of thing is obviously I'm cutting up an onion, and it wouldn't be good to turn up to work with my hands reeking of onion. It's not the easiest of smells to get out of your hands. Right, at this point I actually add my OXO, just a bit more flavour to the meat. Just throw it in, just stir it around, it sort of coats the meat. It also thickens in the sauce or the gravy, which I have already made up, which I showed you the ingredients that I used to make that. Okay, that's all nicely covered, and that's about ready to go into the pot. Perfect. Okay, so I do this in my pressure cooker and it takes around 30 minutes, hence the fact that I haven't pre-cooked any of the vegetables. This is the actual part that goes in the pressure cooker. I won't obviously run through, we'll see it after I've actually finished cooking it. So now I'm going to add the beef and the vegetables. So here's the beef going in. Doesn't matter which order you put any of it in, you just mix it all up. So I'm going to put the onion in now. The swede. Finally the carrot. So you can see all that's gone into there. Just need to mix it around a little bit. Just give it a good mix. It all gets mixed up in the cooking anyway, but this works best. Right, so that is now ready to be transferred into the pressure cooker. So I'll stop it there for a moment while I get that prepared. Right, so all that remains to be done now is to put the internal into the pressure cooker, and 30 minutes later we will have the most amazing stew. Now let's watch me struggle and fumble with the lid. I'm doing this with one hand so I don't get in the way of the camera. But we'll, yeah. Okay. That's it. Then all I do now is set it for stew. And 30 minutes later, we will have a stew. So it'll take 30 minutes. It'll do the countdown. And we'll come back and take a look in 30 minutes. And then I'll show you what I'll put the dumplings in.
A few moments later.
Okay, so 30 minutes later, and it's done. What I've got to do now is actually release the pressure before I can open it and check it. So here we go. So what we have to do now is just turn that valve on the top without scalding ourselves and let the pressure off. I think this is the bit that most people worry about with pressure cookers. It's putting out any excess fluid all over the lid. I'll pause it there for a minute. I'll come back after we're able to open the lid, so this could take a few minutes. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the dumplings, which I'm not going to lie, I used a packet dumpling mix, but I've added to that a teaspoon of mustard powder, some mixed herbs, a little bit of black pepper. Keep warm setting, and I'll go back to that several hours later and that'll be done. But the stew itself only takes 30 minutes to cook. It's noticed the dumplings, and of course I'm not ready to eat it yet, so and we'll come back when I dish it up. Okay, so there we are, ready to be dished up. I actually decided to put the dumplings in the oven after I took them out of here and put them in the oven because I wanted to sort of crisp them up a little bit. There you have it. Lovely, delicious beef stew and dumplings. And I'm looking forward to getting tucked into that.